I spent the past year Hey, Haskas. Welcome, bro. All right, let's go. Oh, also, I need to enable TTS. I forgot. People want to have the TTS command. Of course. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Oh my god, you see, this is when you have some terrible Oh, not video. Not video, thank you very much. How about not that? Video is terrible, but TTS is good. I'm surprised OBS is still crashed. But the stream runs, everything still runs. I don't know what part of OBS crashed. Don't forget to escape top chat. Yep. If you're guys watching the stream and in your chat it says at the very top, it says top chat, turn that into live chat. That's one of YouTube's terrible features. Literally dog shit. That it's the default one. That's the dog shit part. Okay, you guys have TTS now. Alright, let's go over to Vampire Survivors. No one's gonna use the TTS anyways. Because you need to use the Twitch chat, which is kind of awkward to do. Hey, Rusiari. Welcome, bro. Okay. Open for Coda again. Another instance. Vampire Survivors clone. Boom. Right, so. I think I want to create a map. And in order to create a map, I need some sort of I need to know the size of the map. I think that's the best thing to do right now. Moving around on the map. So how would we design a map? A map needs to have a size. And on the map, what happens in Vampire Survivors if you run outside the map? You're just being spawned on the if you run on the left, if you run on the right side, you run too far to the right. Then you're being spawned on the left, right? What is a good size for a map? Let's start with the size of the map. I think that's the easiest one to choose. We need a map size. If I play Vampire Survivors, is the map uniformly sized? Let's see. Is it like a perfect quad or is it stretched? Is it wider than it is tall? I never actually played it, only seen others. I think it's endless. No, no. I can show you what I mean. Let me see. Confirm, start. Sketch. How do you... There we go. This is the map. Oh, so it's a quad. Isn't VS map infinite? I think you can't reach map end. On a few maps, for example, vertical one, you just can't leave a tower or something. You think it's just infinite? Try to reach border and see. Okay. Gonna run to the right. Fast as I can. So what are you guys saying about these random... Are these randomly placed? Or does it... It seems like it's repeating itself. The map is repeating itself. Look, I've only been running to the right side and I barely... Wait, no, it like... Look! See the lines here? It stops here or something. Not that tall, actually. It's not that big, actually. And yeah, like, look, this always repeats. Seems like he has a map that repeats. So I wonder how big it is. This must be one tile. I think I just wanna run and see what he created here.
Schumann ist sehr hübsch.
Ah, boy. Okay, bro. Wait, this could be the tiles. This is one entire map tile, and they all of them repeat. And I wonder what happens here. See, like this indicates a tile end. Can I move over this? Yeah, but I can move over trees, yeah. Repeating map that X repeats. Okay, I wonder what happens here. After this tile is done. What happens here? It just repeats. But there are no more pickups to get. See? The map just repeats, but there's just no more pick. Holy shit. There's just no more pickups. Yeah, it just repeats. Yeah, I'm outside the map now. Okay, so he's visually indicating that the pickup area... I wonder how big this is. One of these squares. This is probably 32 by 32. I wonder how many of these squares he has. Actually, give me some money. Shit. Illusion ruined. Unbound scrolling, so it's infinite. It treats you like infinite, but all it does is it changes your position in a 2D vector. That's all it does, because it's always drawing it's always drawing the same tile based on your position, X and Y offset. So if you start at the very middle, you are literally in the middle of a tile, and then you just draw that tile, or you draw everything that's visible, and the rest is discarded. So I need a way to track my position and then turn that position into a quad based on that position, and then I need to draw but for that I also need some sort of road or something that allows me to place tiles. I need some sort of tile placement thing or something. Or yeah, let's try making a repeating tile first. Something that repeats. Okay, so when we move to the right, it always repeats.
Moin moin Cakez and Chateau 7.
Guten Morgen, Cheeseburgers, moin. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a one-to-one clone, true. So maybe we don't need a map size. But we could call it... Oh, let's call it map size. And for that we need a sprite. That's literally my first tile. And it's 64 by 64. I want to create some sort of map based on these tiles. What's up? Hey, Jeek. Good morning. Welcome, bro. We're back at the Vampire Survivors stuff. I'm thinking about a very simple array, but I suppose the easiest... Yeah, I think a very simple array would do the trick. Like a static array that I read in. It's not a tile size. Map, grid. An integer value. Okay, so let's say our entire map or like one repeating part of the map See, I'm struggling more with the naming than anything. Look, I'm gonna do a paint so you know what I'm talking about. If this is my map, okay? It is separated into tiles of 64 by 64. Okay? That is a map. I would call this map. That's what we saw in Vampire Survivors just now. That's what was repeating. This map has to be designed somehow. And I could see myself just hard coding a two-dimensional array and then placing these tiles by programmatically saying this tile is at the following grid position inside the grid of this map, right? Which is not perfect, but it's going to do the job, and it's decently fast, depending on or comparatively to any other things we could do. Right, so that is a map. I just want to finish it so we know what we're talking about. That's a map. Or maybe that's not a map, but that's... yeah, that's when the map repeats. I don't know how you would call this. I don't know how to call this thing, okay? I don't know the name for this thing. And so, because the next thing we have is the screen position or the player position. Okay? The player could be here. Yes. This is the player. And the player has, obviously, has its screen rectangle, which is terribly drawn. Let's try making that. That's not really a screen, but you know, I'm trying to draw a white screen right now. That's the player's screen. Okay, it's centered around the hero. So let me label this real quick. This is the screen. That's what the player can see on the screen. And this is the player position. Okay, so, and then if you zoom out, yeah, you zoom out, what you see is a bunch of maps, or whatever these things are called, mashed together, right? These things are just, they're being put together in a grid. Okay, so on one hand we have this grid, on the other hand we have some logic in the game that needs to know, okay, the player position is right here. Depending on where the player is in my entire map, the whole map, I need to draw the tiles it was TCAP 3x4 screen. Yeah. I need to draw these tiles. So in this case, I would, if I was inefficient, I would just draw this entire thing, this entire thing, and this entire thing, and this entire thing. Right? Like, the only thing is I need a position, and in the worst case scenario, I need to draw tiles from 4 maps. Okay, but the idea is still the same. I need to know my player position. I need to know where that is relative to these. What is this? Is that a chunk? Is that a map chunk? A map chunk has is this a map chunk? And then an entire map is 4 chunks. And then a map chunk is separated into tiles. And then a tile is just a 64 by 64 texture that I decide what the tile looks like. And therefore, depending on where I am in my map, I can decide based on some starting value. I know where I am in which chunk. And based on that chunk, I know which tiles to draw, and these are the green tiles here. In Minecraft, world is combined from chunks. So because I would literally only have to draw these tiles. Okay. I only need to draw tiles that are partially on the screen. So that would fit. That would be those tiles. That small rectangle. And all of these do not need to be drawn. If I do this correctly. And I suppose we start with the world chunk size. Or let's call it map chunk. Like, what is that chunk size? That's literally how many tiles. So I think I call it chunk tile count. Map chunk tile count is how many tiles do I put into one chunk? How many am I currently drawing on screen? I think it's 12 by 12. XP bar. I think it's an update game. Draw the background. How many do I draw? I draw 8 by 14. That's what I do. That's how many tiles I draw, and that fits the entire screen. So a map chunk tile count should be obviously way more. If you make the chunk small enough, you could draw an entire chunk always. No, I can't. Because I need to offset. The player's position is an offset into this ginormous map. And so sometimes I would be drawing these tiles. But other times I'd be drawing like... this one would be in a different position. It might be here. And then you have the quad here that you draw. I can't always draw an entire chunk. I draw tiles of a chunk. That's the idea. And that what I draw is based on the position of the player. The player is always in the middle of the screen. Currently, my player moves around on screen. Man, that's actually quite a difficult problem. But let's just do, okay, we have 16 by 16 tiles. Or maybe 32 by 32. Yeah, we have a quad, a chunk size of 32 by 32 tiles. Which, holy shit, that's a lot. I think I'm gonna do 16 by 16 for now, cause, yeah. 16 by 16, what is 16 times 16? 256. I need to code 256 tiles by hand. Place tiles by hand for one map chunk. Yeah. Like, imagine that was 32 by 32. That would be too much. We can also do the following, I suppose. We don't need a map tile count. Or do I? I think I do. I think I want. 16 by 16 is something every programmer knows. By heart? Nah, I don't know these things, okay? And then the map grid size is, let's say we have... or let's call it map chunk count. Okay, how many chunks do I have? Let's just say for now we have... We don't need a count of chunks. Because these are endless. We just need a rule to say if you are at position 0, 0, you are being drawn in the middle position of... Yeah, we just need an offset. We just need this one, the map chunk tile count. Let's try this. Let me create a const expression, or maybe a static or an internal. Chunk tiles array or something. It's basically a sprite ID array, that's all it is. It's a two-dimensional array of, I suppose, map, chunk, tile, count by map, chunk, tile, count. Two-dimensional array. And then we need to now fill in 16 by 16 slots. And for that, I think we need to create another, at least one more tile. And I would love to move this into a different spot so we have place for ourselves. I don't know what else I want to put in here. I don't want to spend too much time on this. But I suppose I could do a quick log or something. Because I don't have that much time today. Ah, that's not how a log looks like, man. I just want to have a different tile, that's all. A second tile. I'm not very good with wood. Trying to do something. Making it look like, oh, there's a log. Okay. Try to get some highlight on this bad boy. Holy shit.
Exclamation mark TTS.
Bruh. Shut up. Sorry, couldn't respond right away. In your paint drawing, you draw like 4 times screen size, but if a chunk would be smaller than screen size, amount of additional drawing tiles of screen. I don't understand what you're saying. It's fine though, because we'll see how it goes, right? I think it pops off too much. Right, guys? This pops off too much. Would be a different color. Not supposed to pop off that much. I hate how... Maybe that. That makes it a bit better. How about this one? Oh, that's also not bad. Doesn't look that good, but... Not terrible, I don't hate it. Just try different colors. That one is nice. That actually fits together. Maybe a tiny bit brighter? No, then that doesn't work. Does not pop off. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Nope. Whatever, anyways, so we have a different tile now, okay? That's all that counts. You could just have a function draw chunk. I think partially drawn chunks would be a pain to implement. Huh? No, it's very simple. It's actually very simple. All you do is draw a quad at a position. And then just wait. Just wait. Let me implement. It's very simple, actually. Okay, the only thing I want, basically, is this thing. This tile right here. So I know when my world repeats. I'm gonna put one tile to the left. To the very left. And one tile to the very right. Indicating that the map started and that the map is over. That's all. I'm not here to make a perfect tile right now. I just want the functional stuff. So 0 to 400. We need to change that. Tile. So instead of that, it's 0 to 400. And then the second grass tile, which is the one with the wood, is 64 by 400. And obviously we don't have that yet. Paste that in here. Okay, that will allow us to get... Oh yeah. That works. Okay, let me fill this in. I thought I could just fill this in because it's a sprite ID, a two-dimensional array. Why would this be? Why would this be concerned about? I don't understand. Do I have to use 16 of these? So what I want to do is I want to use the sprite tile grass O2 at the beginning, and then I just use sprite tile grass O1 a bunch of times, literally 14 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then we copy tile 2 again. For the last one, 16. That is one line. It's gonna be a long line. Usually you would do this in some sort of XML or JSON. But I do not want to implement a parser. Hopefully I'm doing it right. Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay. Good. That's number 1. And then we do this 16 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's 16. And as a bonus, the first and the last line is I'm literally going to create some sort of quad. For loop in some init. No, it's about data. It's about indexing into the data. You will see later on why I'm doing it this way. It's going to be much easier for me to change these tiles. Well, they are a bit long. So I probably want to shorten this. Remove sprite tile grass and call it tile 01 and tile 02. Because then it might even fit into the screen. Let's try that. How do I replace? Fuck, man. How do I replace? I don't know how to replace in this utility, but I can replace here. I want to replace it with tile 01. How do I replace? Control Shift, Control Alt Enter. Yeah, 217. Yeah. Is it replacing or not? Doesn't look like it is. It did replace them. Okay, and then 02. I want to replace it with 2. 40 occurrences. Okay, save. Now I need to reload. Great. Fucking vocoder. Yeah, I know that part is terrible about vocoder. I agree. But the rest is fine. I'm being forgiving because it was made by one person. Okay, I'm forgiving vocoder. Okay, now it's called tile. It's a bit easier to read. It's almost possible to read the entire thing. Now you could think about this as me using a tile editor, but in text. Okay, so you could see that I'm changing the bottom rows all to the tile number 2. Essentially, and if you just look at this, it's not very easy to see, but if you look at this, you might be able to tell that I'm creating some sort of quad where the top row is all tile 2. The first column is all tile 2. The bottom row is all tile 2. And the last column is all tile 2. So I'm literally creating this. And this is what I want. This is all I need to test whether what I'm about to implement will work. And so when I set the player position to 0-0 at the very beginning of the game, and let me see, pick hero or choose hero. Blah 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 blah. Game state running level break. Player position is in the middle. Sure, for testing I would implement a follow. Yeah, but I'm gonna change that later. I'm literally going to draw this. I'm going to use this later. I'm going to use this as a tile editor later, so might as well do it right now. Why would I write the for loop right now if I literally am going to use this next stream or something? Makes no sense. Like, that would just be additional work. Just to have less work right now. Makes It doesn't work here. I think. Okay, there's the problem. Player position is input screen size divided by 2. Player position. Player screen edge distance. Player position. Now the world needs to change around the player. That's gonna be difficult. I always wanna draw the player in the middle of the screen. But based on the position of the player, everything else is being drawn differently. So everything else needs to take the position of the player into account now. Because the player is literally an offset. Like, if we treat the player as the ultimate middle in the beginning, which is 0, 0, and then we move the player around, we call that an offset that we need to every single thing in the game when we move. And that includes the maps, and includes the pickups, the enemies, everything. Except for the UI. So the player position is literally 0. And before I use the chunk tiles, I think I want to make it so that when I move my player, everything else moves around the player. God, I don't know if I will be able to do this today before I have to leave. Holy shit, there's so much going on. Maybe you could use viewport position. I mean, if everything in the game has a position. If everything in the game has a position. And I just need to find out in which chunk I am in the game. So for example, if the world is 16 by 16 chunks, then I place my player in the... And I place... Oh, it can't be 16 by 16. It's probably... What is it in Vampire Survivors? I would need to restart. Or die. Need to die and try again. So I don't wanna be doing that to copy. I just wanna find out whether he's doing it the way I think he's doing it. So if we look at this, I think this must be an uneven amount of tiles. So to the left there should be an even amount, and to the right there should be an even amount. These two should add up to an even amount, and then this one should be the uneven tile. Or I'm stupid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. See? It's 15 tiles. So he decided to have a chunk or a world size of 15 by 15 chunks. And he's placing the player into the 8th chunk. of a, let's say, 16 by 16 grid, or maybe 15 by 15 grid. And so if we assume that the bottom, this position over here, maybe it is starting all here. This is 0. But I think if we put the origin on the top left, it might be a bit easier. Because then everything has a position, and not everything is not relative to the player, but it actually has a fixed position in this tile. Now we just need to look at the player position and decide what we draw. If that makes sense. If any of this makes sense to you guys. So, but I'm just wondering what happens if I draw this. If this is 0, 0, and this is 15 by 15, what do we draw when we reach 0, 0? Do we loop around and we draw the end of the tile? Here, we draw that chunk again. Do we do some sort of modulo operator? So based on where the player moves, we need to get its chunk. We need to get the position and the chunk index. Or the chunk coordinates. I am in this chunk. And then based on that index, we need to get the tile position and check out on which tile we are. And based on that tile, we know how many tiles we have to draw around the character, and if we have to draw the tiles from the next chunk. Or maybe we just need to get the chunk position. And then based on the distance, we know how many tiles we have to draw. It's not that simple, man. It's definitely not. But I think it's easier to treat everything as top left. And we set the player position to place in the middle of the map. Meaning in the middle of all of a 15 by 15 chunk grid. Then we have a const expression I vec2 map chunk count, which is 15 by 15. So now we have 15 by 15 chunks, and we could put we put the player position at about, it's gonna be 16 times 64. This is the width of an entire chunk. That is, let's call it float chunk width is a map chunk tile count. You know what? I'm gonna call this an integer value. Okay, 16 by 16, and then this is also an integer value. Use arrow keys. Arrow keys? What? So we have a map chunk count and a map chunk tile count. So the map, we have that many we have that many tiles.
I have a T.
Oh man. Float. We need to turn that into a float. Nice. And we need to multiply that by 64 pixels. Because tiles... Let me see. Chunk width. Place the player chunk width. One tile is 64 pixels time 64 times 64. So that would be a chunk width. That would be an entire width of a chunk. And why do we need floats? No, that would be an int. Not sure why I need floats here. Okay. Now, the map width would be the map chunk count times the chunk width. Now we have the map width and we position the player inside in the middle of the map, taking the map width and dividing that by 2. That would be the player's position from now on. Missing int specifier. What is this? Doesn't support default int. I posted it in Twitch chat also. It's posted in Twitch chat also. Link didn't work. Link. Infinite word test. Was YouTube? Yeah, YouTube is trash. Huh? How do I move? I'll use arrow keys. Yeah, I mean, I have... yeah, something like this.
Get over here!
Yeah, something like this. Just with repeating chunks. Right? I need repeating chunks. Right? And so for that, I need to be able to know where I am inside my chunk. Or maybe you can point me to something and I can think about that. Because I'm literally running out of time. Maybe I'm doing it in a terrible way. Yeah, that's just a single 20 by 20 time pixel repeating. Yeah, but how do you do this? Where's your 0, 0 point? Is the player the 0, 0 point, or are the tiles... Like, what moves? Like, what is the... See what I mean? Where's your anchor point? Where's 0, 0? Is it top left? Is it in the middle? Or you don't even use that? Eh? What is the problem here, Sprite ID? Maybe it doesn't know about Sprite ID? Do I get issues here? Oh, it works now. Okay, so chunk tiles. Good. And so now we're placing the player here. But when we are drawing the player, we're drawing it always in the middle. Like, there's two things. If I draw the player in the middle of the screen, I need to know whether something relative to the player is inside or outside the screen. If the player point is always the middle point. We treat the player as the middle, then... No, we need to take the player position into account, no matter what we do. Everything is based off the player's position. And drawing it based off that. If I draw an enemy, it's based off the player's position. Let's try doing that for now. I think that's the harder part. Because bruh. So relative movement based on enemies. How do we do that? Spawning system. Spawn enemy. Update damage numbers. For example, damage numbers. Right. The text. The damage number has a position. A world position. Like I need to... Fuck, bro. Fuck, bro! Difficult! It's fucking difficult! Don't really know how to explain constructor's built-in behavior that makes that tile repeat itself to a grid of 16 by 9. Player never moves, the grid does. Yeah. Yeah. It just works, forehead, eh? Bro, just works, you know? Don't know. Just works, bro. Just do it, forehead. Okay, let's... I don't know. Yeah, it's... You can see it's not that simple, right? Such a problem. But I think we have it almost. We almost have it. I have small brain, remember? Lol. Yeah, same. Small brain. Fuck, man. If the player has a position, we treat that as the middle point. Okay, we draw him in the middle of the screen. Now, we need to get a position, or we need to get a relative screen position based on that. We need to get a screen, yeah, we need to have a function called get screen position. That's what we need. And so that takes the player's position as the base. Oh, I see. I think it's the player's position. Wait, the vec2 screen position would be the player's position. So game state player.position towards our supplied position, like in this case the damage numbers position, dn, not dt. The damage numbers position. That would be the relative vector from the player's position to... That would be the direction to the player. And then we need to add in the... we need to add in the middle of the screen, which would be what I told. This one, input screen size divided by 2. Is it screen size though? That should be, it should not be screen size, but it is world size. So it takes, yeah, it needs to be vec2 out of the world size. and add that on top. I think. If that makes sense. So we pretend the player is always in the middle of the world. Okay, that middle point. Then we take the player's position, if that's a player's position, and we generate a direction. What happens if we resize the window, by the way? I've never done this. What happens? Everything should get smaller, right? Can we even resize? We can't resize the screen. Okay. Resizing will be done later. Okay? So that would be the screen position. The screen middle plus the direction towards our position. Then we draw that on the screen position. Screen middle. Let's see if this works. If this works, then I'm happy about that. But I should probably do this for something else too. Let's create a function out of this real quick. Internal get screen position. And player add weapon. I think I'll just put it at the very top. It checks the player position minus that position and it returns screen position. And then we do get screen position. What is that? Speak green. Get screen position, taking in the DN position. And let's do that for everything else as well. For damage numbers, then for pickups. When we draw them at the get screen position. It's gonna look weird because the tiles don't move and I probably have to disable the tiles for that. What is that? Handle damaging areas start. Oh, they need to be drawn at the get screen position, I think. Oh no, that's gonna be terrible. Collision checking would also need that. Do you run VCVARs every compile or does the forecoder have a single command line session? It has the same command line session, thankfully. So I don't need to run this every time, which is why it's so fast. That would be terrible otherwise. I don't know if Collision needs that, because Collision just looks at positions inside the world. I think it just works. It's just where I draw things where it gets weird. And maybe I even extract this out. You know, maybe like this draw function has a get screen position and does that by itself. But for now, I'm just gonna hard code this in for, what is that, damaging area. Another one here, enemy. Right ID, is that enemies? Okay, that's where I wanted to go. Or where I wanted to get to. What I wanted to get to. Hopefully that works. Let's go, hey Pikachu, my man, welcome bro. And then update player start. We draw the player. That's important. Where's draw player? We draw the player position basically in the middle of the screen. So get screen position on nothing. We draw in the middle. Wait, that doesn't work. No, we draw him in the middle, so that would be vec 2 world or screen size. Fuck. Argument cannot conversion from floats to int. Wonder if that works. It's gonna look weird. I just don't have enough time to think about this properly because I need to go soon. Yeah, it does work. See how I'm moving? And the enemies move. It's not working properly. They move towards me. But it's still all fucked up. Trippy? Yeah, it is. It is trippy. Because the background doesn't move, which is why I said I probably have to... I have to move the background. Or remove the... this code here. Sorry guys, I don't think I'll be able to do this today. Fuck, man. I'm not on my high point today. I'm not very smart and I have to go soon. Let's see how that looks. It moves in the wrong direction. They should not move like that. They should move in the other direction. So... maybe I just need to invert where the player moves and it's all good. Y minus plus. What about X? Plus and minus. That is weird though. If I move into D direction, it's like moving into the other direction. That doesn't make any sense. It works. And then X and Y is also inverted. I think it has something to do with how I calculate this. Maybe position minus gameplay, maybe in the other direction. Maybe the player position, maybe the position minus the player position. Maybe this way. Could that be fixing it? Yeah, okay, that works. That looks a bit better, right? You see that? That does look a little bit more natural, right? We can now start moving in this. Though it's still weird about... oh wait, it doesn't draw... it does not draw me the magma puddles. It works, eh? This is what you want. Yeah, so that's what I want. Now the only thing that I have to do... I should die when they get close to me, right? Yeah. They will kill me. Yeah, okay. So collision works properly. I just need to display all the skills correctly as well. I think we can get that done. So then we have, okay, the skills are being displayed. We can move around properly. Next, and that would be something I have to tackle then on January. I don't know if I will stream on January 1st on New Year's Eve. It depends on how I feel. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. It depends. Also depends what my girlfriend wants to do. If she's here or if she's not here. Was HP bar and mana bar there? Like the HP bar and the mana bar are both not there, which is kind of cringe. Not gonna lie. I think it has something to do with the HP bar. It's because it takes the player's position. And it shouldn't take the player position. It should take a vec2 of the input screen size divided by 2. So the HP bar should be here now. Let's call it vec2 bar position. Is P position. Wait. Player position plus 50. Tile map next. Tile map is gonna be next, but I won't be able to do it today. I'm meeting with my friends, so we buy food for tomorrow. I won't be able to. It would be too much stress as well. It's like me trying to quickly do this. It won't work. Programming under stress is never a good idea. But I'll do it in January. It's fine. We'll get to that. Nice. Bum, bum, ba-da-da-dum. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, ba-dum. I'm already making mistakes here. I'm not taking the time to think whether this middle of the screen is a good position or not, or is a good thing to do. I don't even know if this is something that is going to be in the final version. Because I'm not thinking straight, or I'm not thinking properly what it means to... I don't have a world size and a world offset, if that makes sense. Inside my screen or inside my window, I don't have a concept of a world yet. And so we need to develop that concept in order for this thing to be a proper thing. Because currently it just assumes that the middle of the screen is always going to be the middle of the world. Or not the middle of the world, but yeah. Like, again, I'm terrible explaining this, but this might not be correct, is all I'm trying to say. But we'll get to that over time. The concept of world and game. Oh, and screen. Let's see, that changes the bars. Active attacks. That's sprite, damaging area. Draw sprite. Add damaging area. So over here where we draw sprites. See, this is what I meant. Having to supply this get screen position. I think what I want to do is extract this into draw transform. And then draw transform takes in the position and turns that into a screen position based on the player. But maybe I don't. Maybe I don't, actually. Maybe I don't. Let's do it like this for now. It's not perfect. It's not a perfect solution, but it requires me to think a bit more than the time what I have. Okay, so that would be this one. XP bar is fine. Active attacks, player is fine. Enemies are fine. Damaging areas. Okay, drawing damaging areas. The magma ring, for example. Drawing the sprite based on a screen. Get green position. And the whip is already drawn correctly, and garlic. Where am I drawing garlic? It needs to draw that at around the player. So in the middle of the screen. Okay. I wonder if this is... Wait, does it work already? Oh, it works. Look at this, guys. It works. What about the magma puddles? They work too. And enemies colliding with them. Pork? Yeah, I think it's pork. I think it's very good. Now I can just start running away endlessly. What about the whip? Works too. Look at this. Boom. Now I can... Look at this. That is so cool. I think it starts lagging. Or is this my stream? The FPS going down because I'm now drawing too many things. Is it lagging? Okay, that's the last thing I check. After that, I literally have to go. Is it lagging? Show FPS? Yeah, I have it at the top right now. Shouldn't. It shouldn't. That should not happen. Seems like it's stable. Time map next time. Yeah, time map next time for sure. No, it's not lagging. I don't see any FPS drops, so it might be micro stutters or something. Doesn't seem like it is lagging. Does look weird though when it hangs like that, right? Run at 60 FPS, no issue. I mean, we could probably run it more. Let me try disabling VSync. Renderer set vertical sync to false. Remember, I need to remember to set this to true. I really need to make an option to set VSync on or off. It runs at 1,500, 2,000 right now. Let's see how far it drops down. Oh wow, look at this. TCAP's program doesn't really work with high amounts of delta time. You see that? The TCAP didn't take into account that it would... Look how slow these crystals move to me. They're slowly moving to me! Bro! Look how fast it drops down below 1,000 though. At 900 right now. 800. 700. 600. 500. It drops down very fast. I think it's because of the 2 weapons. Yeah, okay, now it no longer drops. It's because of the 2 weapons. The way the 2 weapons... It literally is something like this. One weapon iterates over all enemies. Then the next weapon iterates over all of these enemies. Then the next weapon iterates over all of these enemies. And the more weapons I have, the more enemies, the more often I iterate over these enemies. There's probably a much faster way to do this. Yeah, the FPS is dropping fast. It's already down to 300. Yeah, we need to look at. It's probably the update loop. If you ask me. We are still sitting comfortably at 200. Oh man, it's dropping down now. Too many enemies, isn't it? Wait, what happened to the bees? Oh no, I have 120 FPS. It starts to lag. Starts to drop down. Some part of the code is slow. I think it's the amount of enemies. I think it's the what is that called? The amount of enemies and doing collision detection on them is what's causing this. You iterate all enemies or just the ones in range? Yeah, all enemies. There is no spatial partitioning stuff happening. Yep. But okay, it's okay. It's okay. This part is this is something that we will fix in like a in a stream where we try to make the performance better. All right, guys. I think. Wait, apart from the bees having this terrible background, everything else is fine. Well, you will fix that later, I'm sure. Yeah, I will, for sure. And then the weapons can also iterate over their own cells. Okay, git add. Git commit -m. Edit. Relative movement. Or everything moves relative to when.
Goodbye. Bye bye.
The player is now always in the middle of the screen and everything else moves relative to him. Good push. Alright. Still nice progress today. Yeah, it's better than nothing. It's better than no progress. That's how I see it. Progress is progress. Even if it's a tiny bit. Okay, guys, I hope you had a little bit of fun. We didn't get much done, but we did get something done. That's important. I have to go. I'm meeting up with my friends in literally 20 minutes. And I still need to get ready.
Bye
So,
bye bye bye.
Bye, 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 bye. I'll see you tomorrow on Twitch. Have a great day. And for those that I don't see tomorrow, Happy New Year's.